Alright, look, I know you saw the title and clicked on this video, but as with almost anything that has to do with the royal family, it's not so simple. After reading a bunch of articles with different perspectives, different opinions, and interestingly pushing different narratives, this is what I've gathered about the whole Prince William bullying accusation. I'm Adam Andrews with Where Are They Now, and we're talking about Prince Harry accusing Prince William of bullying. So, in the first half of the Harry and Meghan Netflix docuseries, it focuses heavily on Meghan's side of everything, her story, her interactions, and her family, while in the second half that released a few days later, that focuses much more on Harry's side of the family. There was a point during those final 3 episodes where Harry said that after the couple's plans to leave the UK hit the press, there was a meeting between Harry himself, his brother William, their father Charles, and Queen Elizabeth II at Sandringham. Without elaborating too much on actual conversations that took place there, Harry did speak about how things got heated and about his brother yelling at him. We believe that this is probably true because it is rather well known that William, a lot like his father, has a rather short temper. In the docuseries, Harry says, quote, "It was terrifying to have my brother scream and shout at me and my father say things that weren't true and my grandmother quietly sit there and take it all in." Now, I've read a few articles like I said, but some of those only include part of another statement he made during the series, literally skipping over a few things said during the docuseries, and I thought that was a pretty bad way to tell a news story, but a great way to spark up controversy. But okay, what did he say? Harry said, quote, "A story came out that day that said that part of the reason Meghan and I were leaving was because William had bullied us out. And once I got in the car, after the meeting, I was told about a joint statement that had been put out in my name and my brother's name squashing the story about him bullying us out of the family. I couldn't believe it. No one had asked me permission to put my name to a statement like that. And I rang Meghan and I told her and she burst into floods of tears because within 4 hours they were happy to lie to protect my brother, and yet for 3 years they were never willing to tell the truth to protect us." Now, he himself does not actually accuse his brother of bullying, and that is important because that is the claim made by so many of these articles. The event that Harry is referring to happened in 2020 when the 4 senior royals met at Sandringham to, quote, "talk things through." This is when that whole altercation with the yelling and everything took place. That same day, an article was published in the British publication, The Times, that suggested that William had a, quote, "bullying attitude." Then again, the same day, a statement that was issued, quote, by the royal brothers said this. Despite clear denials, a false story ran in a UK newspaper today speculating about the relationship between the Duke of Sussex and the Duke of Cambridge. That's Harry and William. Now, this was said by a spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex and the Duke of Cambridge. For brothers who care so deeply about the issues surrounding mental health, the use of inflammatory language in this way is offensive and potentially harmful. That is the statement which Harry was not actually aware of or consulted about. And I agree, that is incredibly messed up. There are several accusations that Harry does make about the family, and they are also incredibly messed up, and I do believe him, while also taking everything with a grain of salt. Some of those accusations include that Harry and Meghan were victims of stories being planted against them by people in Prince William's office, and that the palace was threatened by how popular the couple was with the public. The couple weren't specific about which stories were the ones that had been planted, but Harry said some other things as well about the way that the palace would plant and trade stories. And he does speak about something that I'm assuming brought him and his brother apart a bit more here as well. Harry says, quote, "There's leaking, but there's also planting of stories. So, if the comms team want to be able to remove a negative story about their principal, they will trade and give you something about someone else's principal. So, the offices end up working against each other. It's a kind of weird understanding or acceptance that happens." He then says, "William and I both saw what happened in our dad's office and we made an agreement that we would never let that happen to our office. I would far rather get destroyed in the press than play along with this game, this business of trading. To see my brother's office copy the very same thing that we promised the two of us would never do, that was heartbreaking." Harry also seems to have implicated that Charles's office leaked the story to the media that Harry and Meghan wanted to move to Canada in a story put out by The Sun in January 2020. According to Harry, the detail about the couple's willingness willingness to leave their Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles was, quote, the giveaway that it had been leaked. The interesting thing about this docuseries is that while specific people are mentioned, Harry and Meghan's criticism seems to focus more so on the institution of the royal family over the actual individuals involved, with Prince William being the only one who some of Harry's criticisms is aimed towards, and that seems to come from a place of disappointment. Speaking of the bitterness that had been created by everything, Harry said, quote, I mean, the saddest part of it was this wedge created between me and my brother so that he's now on the institution's side. I understand, that's his inheritance, so to some extent it's already ingrained in him that part of his responsibility is the survivability and the continuation of this institution. Harry and Meghan cover a lot of different things in their docuseries, and I'm only talking about one part of that, so I suggest if you are interested that you go and watch and do some of your own research and come up with your own conclusions. Now, I saw one comment on another video of ours that asked me whose side I'm on, and I think that perfectly encapsulates how stupid this whole thing actually is. I'm a YouTube host. I don't care, I'm not on anyone's side. The royal family holds very little actual power now, and yet people are calling for Harry and Meghan to be charged with treason. It all just gets out of hand, and people would rather focus their energy on hating and or loving people they don't actually know than living their own lives. I'm done ranting now though. I've been Adam Andrews, this is Where Are They Now? I'll see you guys next time. Toodles.